Welcome to the Vigilante Voice, where shadows speak louder than heroes, and the stories behind the masks matter more than the punchlines. If you've made it this far, you're not just a fan, you're one of us. So don't just watch. Join the circle, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, because in this world, you miss one notification, and the whole damn multiverse changes. All right then, let's dive headfirst into the rabbit hole. You've heard the name. Maybe you saw Keanu play him. But trust me, John Constantine is way messier than that. A magician, a con man, a bastard with a lighter, and probably the only guy who told the devil to fuck off and meant it. He's a British working-class anti-hero. John Constantine isn't just British, he's British as hell. Born in Liverpool, later retconned to London, raised in a broken home and soaked in tragedy. Constantine carries the raw, gritty weight of the UK's working class in every flick of his lighter and every word that comes out of his smoke-stained mouth. While superheroes like Batman enjoy mansions, gadgets, and billionaire privilege, Constantine's battlefield is a moldy flat. His weapons are lies, cigarettes, and just enough charm to get someone else killed instead of him. He doesn't wear a cape. He wears a blood-stained trench coat and a tie that's been through hell, literally. He's not a knight in shining armor. He's the bastard the shadows call when even the devil wants a day off. He doesn't fight to save the world. He fights so the world doesn't fall apart faster than it already is. 2. Back in the early 80s, when Alan Moore, Steve Bissett, and John Toddleben were crafting the eerie world of Swamp Thing, they needed a new kind of sorcerer. Not a robe-wearing Gandalf, not a charming stage magician, someone gritty, someone modern, someone who looked like he'd get kicked out of a bar for summoning a demon in the bathroom. So, what did they do? They based him on Sting, the frontman of the Police, specifically his look in the film Quadrophenia, bleach blonde, dead-eyed, too cool to care, too haunted to sleep. And just like that, Constantine was born, trench coat, smirk, and all. The resemblance was so deliberate that early comic panels practically scream rock star arrogance meets occult trauma. But unlike Sting, Constantine doesn't sing love songs. He leaves voicemails for ghosts and drinks with the damned. He's not here to entertain you. He's here to make you question if your soul's already sold. 3. He tricked the devil, 3 of them, at once. In Hellblazer number 42, part of the legendary Dangerous Habits arc, written by Garth Ennis, art by Will Simpson, Constantine pulled off one of the most iconic cons in comic book history, and his target? Not 1, but 3 Lords of Hell. Diagnosed with terminal lung cancer, Constantine knew he didn't have long to live. So what did he do? He sold his soul, separately, to the first of the fallen, the Lord of the Dance, and the Archduke of Hell. None of them knew the others had already claimed him. When the time came to collect, all 3 demons showed up, and realized that if any of them took Constantine's soul, it would start an all-out war in Hell. A civil war, a cosmic shitstorm. So they did the unthinkable. They healed him out of fear. That's right, Constantine beat cancer not with magic, but with the devil's own ego. And then, he lit a cigarette and walked away smiling, because of course he did. He's not immortal, he's just too clever and too damn stubborn to die on anyone else's terms. 4. He's bisexual, and it's canon. John Constantine has slept with demons, angels, men, women, and more than a few things that defy labels. But here's the thing, it's not subtext, it's not a wink, and it's not fan speculation. Constantine is canonically bisexual. While hints had existed for years, DC made it official in the John Constantine, the Hellblazer series, 2015, written by Ming Doyle and James Tynion IV. In that run, and in later appearances like The Sandman Universe, Hellblazer, and Justice League Dark, his sexuality isn't treated as a gimmick or a plot twist. It's just part of who he is. And it makes sense, doesn't it? Constantine isn't about rules. He's not about tradition. He does what he wants with who he wants, whether that's summoning spirits or sleeping with the damned. He doesn't care what people think. He barely cares what the universe thinks. Because when you've pissed off heaven, hell, and half of London, who you sleep with is the least controversial thing about you. 5. He's a walking curse. Getting close to John Constantine is a death sentence, not metaphorically, literally. If you become Constantine's friend, lover, ally, hell, even an acquaintance, your days are numbered. Not because he wants you gone, but because the universe around him is rigged, cursed, and cruel, and he knows it. From Astrologue, the little girl he failed to save from a demon in Hellblazer number 11, 1988, to his longtime friends Chaz Chandler, Richie Simpson, and Kit Ryan, almost everyone Constantine lets in ends up dead, broken, or worse, damned. Sometimes it's his fault, sometimes it's not. But deep down he knows that's the price of keeping him in your life. That's why Constantine walks alone, not because he's cold, but because he's dangerous. And heartbreak is the one thing even magic can't undo. You don't befriend Constantine. You survive knowing him, if you're lucky. 6. He doesn't really do magic. John Constantine is a magician the way a con artist is a financial advisor. Sure, he can do magic. He's summoned demons, closed hell mouths, even whispered angels into submission. But here's the truth. He rarely casts spells. He cheats. He manipulates people. He lies to monsters. He plays gods against each other like a backroom poker game, and always has an ace up his sleeve or a blood pact in his coat pocket. When Constantine wins, it's not because of power. It's because no one saw the double cross coming. In Hellblazer 40, when the first of the Fallen tried to torment him, Constantine didn't raise a wand. He just talked. And by the time the devil realized he'd been played, Constantine had already won. Magic is his last resort. Words, deals, and lies. That's his real spellbook. He's not a wizard. He's a bastard with a plan. And that's far more dangerous. 7. He aged in real time. While Superman's been in his 30s for 80 years and Batman still punches like he's got cartilage, John Constantine got older. For real. In the original Hellblazer run, 1988 to 2013, writers didn't freeze Constantine in time. He aged with the world. When the series started, he was in his mid-30s. By the end, he was pushing 60, weathered, bitter, and visibly worn down by cigarettes, guilt, and years of cons gone wrong. The consequences showed up in every line on his face, every tremor in his hand, every name etched into his regret. And it wasn't just physical. You could feel it in his voice, in how he lit his cigarette slower, in how his sarcasm started to sound more like exhaustion. He's not an ageless icon. He's a man rotting slowly under a trench coat, carrying the weight of every soul he couldn't save. Constantine didn't just outlive people. He outlived versions of himself. And no spell can rewind that clock. 8. Batman respects him, and that says a lot. Batman doesn't trust people, he doesn't like magic, and he definitely doesn't hang out with chain-smoking con artists who strike deals with the devil before breakfast. But even he respects John Constantine. In multiple storylines, from Justice League Dark to Deceased to The Black Casebook, Batman has made it clear Constantine is dangerous. Not because of spells, but because he'll win a battle no matter what it costs you. He once called John the most unpredictable man alive. Coming from the world's greatest control freak, that's not praise, it's a warning. And here's the kicker. Constantine doesn't respect Batman back. To him, Bruce is just another rich guy playing hero in a world that's far darker than he's willing to admit. John deals with gods. Bruce punches clowns. And in Constantine's world, the real monsters don't wear costumes. 9. He dies a lot. Death and John Constantine have a complicated relationship. Not love-hate, more like hate-hate with occasional smoking breaks. He's died more than once. Stabbed, shot, cursed, incinerated, dragged to hell. But somehow he always comes back. Not because he's immortal, because death, quite frankly, doesn't want to deal with his shit. In Hellblazer 250, he's buried alive. In Justice League Dark, he lets himself be taken to hell just to sneak back with intel. And in Deceased, he knows he's not making it out alive and still goes in laughing, middle finger raised. Sometimes he cons demons into giving his soul back. Sometimes he swaps places with someone worse. Yep, he's that kind of bastard. Sometimes he just walks out of hell like it was a dive bar with bad service. Constantine doesn't beat death. He annoys it into giving up. 10. He's not a hero. He's the last resort. John Constantine isn't who you call first. He's who you call when the exorcists run, the angels bail, and the demons start asking for terms. He doesn't save the day with a cape fluttering in the wind. He saves it by tricking the ancient evil into signing the wrong contract, then burns the paperwork. In the Justice League Dark comics, he's often the only one willing to do what everyone else is too righteous, too clean, or too cowardly to even consider. Need to erase someone from reality? Done. Possess your own soul to trap a demon inside it? Tuesday. Doom 100 people to save 1,000? He'll light a cigarette and nod. He doesn't want applause. He wants you to never ask for his help again. Constantine's not here to be liked. He's here because someone has to make the ugliest decision and live with it. So yeah, John Constantine isn't your average hero. He's the cigarette burn on the cape, the guy who saves the world but leaves the door to hell cracked open, just in case he needs a favor later. He's clever, cursed, and cruel when he has to be, and that's exactly why we love him. If you made it this far, you're one of the brave ones. Or the damned. Either way, you belong here. So don't forget to subscribe, ring the bell, and drop your favorite Constantine moment in the comments. Or just whisper it into the smoke. We'll hear it. See you soon. End of transmission. The Vigilante Voice is out.